In a joint statement by the Malawi government, the World Food Programme and other development partners, the authorities said a total of 37.8 billion kwacha has been made available, leaving a gap of 10.8 billion kwacha. DODMA has since appealed to partners, including the private sector, to technically and financially support the implementation of the program. DODMA and the development partners say the response is aligned with the National COVID-19 Response Plan and anchored in the National Resilience Strategy, which aims to tackle root causes of food and nutrition insecurity, such as overdependence on rain-fed agriculture and lack of crop diversification. Commissioner for Disaster Management Affairs James Chiusiwa said the increasing risk of climatic shocks worsens a vicious cycle of food insecurity. The Malawi Vulnerability Assessment Committee has determined that 2.6 million food insecure people will require assistance during the 2020 to 2021 lean season. WFP Malawi Country Director Bernard Theory thanked the international donors for their support to the response. The government has so far allocated 30,000 metric tons of maize from the strategic grain reserves for the program, while WFP will distribute cash so that people can buy food in the local markets.
The High Court in Lilongwe has adjourned a matter in which former President Peter Mutharika and former Secretary to the Cabinet Lloyd Muhara are supposed to hear the court's determination on the cost the two incurred in the Chief Justice retirement case. The case has been adjourned to February 5th, 2021. Rebecca Chinjeka has more in this report, read by Matthews Kasanda.
Lawyers representing Mutharika and Muhara, Tembenu Masumba and company asked for more time, saying the other parties served them late with a court document. In November last year, the High Court ordered the two to pay costs incurred in a case in which they were found guilty of ordering Chief Justice Andrew Nyirenda and Justice of Appeal Edward Tweya to proceed on leave pending retirement. Lawyer representing Human Rights Defenders Coalition, Malawi Law Society and Magistrates Association that dragged Mutharika and Muhara to court, Kumbo Soko said he did not object to the decision. He said they could not object to the application for extra time because what they are seeking in the matter is justice. The case was presided by the High Court Judge Charles Mkandawire.
There was chaos in many townships in Blantyre on Tuesday where minibus drivers were protesting new COVID-19 prevention measures targeting public transport. The operators wanted the government to either reduce fuel prices or allow them carry 3 passengers per seat. Police fired tear gas to disperse some protesters in the city. Jameson Chauluka reports.
The disgruntled minibus operators were stopping other minibus drivers and taxi operators from carrying the passengers in their place. Times found a lot of people walking from various townships to Blantyre Central Business District. Things went out of hand in Chirimba Township, for example, where people blocked the M1 road with this. It is yet to be seen if the strike continues, if government does not bow down to their demands.
In Lilongwe, minibuses operated as usual on most routes except for a few selected areas like Area 25 and in Sundwe. Some operators have told Times that the main strike would take place on Wednesday. Matthews Kasanda explains.
Some minibus drivers and conductors have told Times they plan to have their strike on Wednesday and not on Tuesday, as it was in some cities. The argument is that they should be allowed to be carrying 3 passengers per seat, or else the price of fuel should be reduced for them to be able to carry 2 passengers per seat. When Times visited some areas in the early hours of the day, found that some areas, including Area 25 and 23, there were fewer minibuses on the road than usual. However, around 11 a.m., more minibuses came back on the road.
Meanwhile, Minibus Owners Association of Malawi, MOAM, has refuted reports of an agreement with government to allow minibuses carry 3 passengers per seat. MOAM chairperson for the southern region, Peter Mvalo, says there is no development to that effect, explaining that the capacity remains 2 people per seat. Mibawa said it is not correct to defy government's order that minibuses carry 2 people per seat, which was set aside to protect its people. Mibawa spoke to our reporter, Thomas Kachere.
Okay, so far what is circulating on the social media is fake, because the one who spoke to some media, he gave a bad report about the capacity. The government has not yet responded to the capacity issue, because the regulation itself is concerning a lot of stakeholders in the nation. So there's no way that the government can just change in one stakeholder. So the petition is still there. The government is still waiting to see how this COVID-19 coronavirus maybe will decrease, because now coronavirus is at high.
Meanwhile, MOM General Secretary Coxley Kamange has expressed sadness over the conduct of some demonstrators who were seen beating up others for operating on the roads. Kamange has therefore called on all operators to go and work but observe the COVID-19 rules, including that of carrying 2 people per seat.
First of all, I would like to condemn what has ever happened today. Going way forward, we ask the drivers to go back to the streets starting tomorrow. We are appealing even to the owners to ask their drivers. We believe in contact and dialogue, because whatever has been happening, we have already tabled to the relevant authorities, and they are still working on it. And even tomorrow, we are supposed to meet government officials so that we can resolve these issues.
Deputy Minister of Local Government Halima Daudi says the ministry, through all councils, is enforcing COVID-19 preventive measures and ensuring they are being implemented. During Tuesday's briefing organized by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Daudi said the ministry wrote all councils to promote and intensify the preventive measures, which include opening bars from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 o'clock in the evening, disinfecting markets and closing them by 5 p.m. Daudi also says the ministry has suspended all full council meetings. And co-chairperson of the task force, John Puka, has disclosed that within the last 24 hours, the country has registered 843 cases, 225 recoveries and 22 new deaths. Puka has implored Malawians to visit hospitals whenever they are not feeling well.
2,562 adds to 132,915 total number of tests that we've done. And we have huge capacity to test. We have thousands, hundreds of thousands of capacity in the country, but these numbers have actually increased. A lot of
We'll be back after this break.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Let's taste new sensation.
Welcome back. Government says the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively affected this year's tree planting season, as many companies are yet to participate in the exercise. President Lazarus Chakwera, at the launch of the 2020-2021 National Forestry season on December 16th last year in Katabi, said that the country targets to plant around 60 million seedlings this year. Sam Kalimira reports.
Director of Forestry in the Ministry of Forestry and Natural Resources, Chilima, was uncertain if the country would manage to meet the target, as some companies and institutions are resisting to join the exercise due to the COVID-19 impact. Chilima, however, said the government is encouraging members of parliament to lead in the exercise while observing preventive measures of coronavirus.
It has affected. In fact, as we're talking, we are being very cautious. Some constituencies are waiting to see how the situation goes before they plant. So it's affecting the progress of the work. But we are recommending that wherever tree planting is taking place, all measures to prevent COVID should be followed.
He then said the department will soon start consolidating the figures of the planted seedlings in order to weigh the progress. The country observes tree planting season every year that runs mostly between December and April, where different species of trees are planted. During the period, people are also encouraged to take care of forest by, among others, managing the trees that were planted years back. Reports indicate that Malawi loses forest cover at an alarm rate of about 32,000 hectares every year. The major drive of this loss is tree cutting for charcoal and firewood. Other causes of forest degradation are agricultural expansion, human settlement, and wildfires.
As the country aims to plant more than 60 million trees in this year's National Forestry season, some individuals have joined the cause even amid uncertainties that the target might not be met due to the COVID-19 pandemic. One such individual is a Nzuzu business person who has so far planted trees covering an area of about 100 hectares in Kadape district. Patience Lunda has followed this report.
The business person, Amon Kaweche, says he has been planting trees for the past 4 years. Kaweche said he has been saddened by the rate of deforestation in Nkarabe district, prompting him to take action. Deforestation drive if the country is to avert adverse effects of climate change. On December 16th, 2020, President Lazarus Chakwera launched the National Forestry season, which runs from December 2020 to April 2021. To ensure the success of the exercise, President Chakwera called on all districts, communities, institutions, and schools to plant more trees in Malawi.
In international news, Nigerians are hopeful after U.S. President Joe Biden reversed former President Donald Trump's travel ban on several predominantly Muslim and African nations, including Nigeria. VOA's Timothy Obiezu reports from Abuja.
Joseph Arba wished to honeymoon in the United States after his 2018 wedding, but he says his visa was denied even though he met the basic requirements.
As an applicant, the pain of being refused, even when you know you're qualified, is something else. So having, knowing the already concluded decisions even before going for interview, so it's a total discouragement on the applicant.
Nigeria was one of several African nations included in a 2017 travel ban imposed by former U.S. President Donald Trump on predominantly Muslim and African nations. The ban made travel from Nigeria to the US nearly impossible. The Trump administration said the ban was imposed because of national security concerns, claiming the countries on the list had not met minimum security standards.
Nigeria is not the only country in the world that is having insecurity as a problem. Security is just like the pandemic of what we're having now. It has become an issue that is a global problem.
The US is one of Nigeria's top travel destinations, but Abba has not applied for a US visa since he was denied entry. But now, things are different. On his first day in office on January 20, President Joe Biden signed 17 executive orders, including one that overturned the travel ban. Nigerian business owners welcomed the move.
Really big relief for entrepreneurs like me, especially in the travel industry, who can now begin to see so many opportunities coming up, and then begin to enjoy the benefits of inflows between Nigeria and America.
While the Biden administration appears to be sending a message that U.S. borders are no longer shut to certain countries, some Nigerian political observers say there is an important lesson to be learned.
So America has internal battles to take on. What needs to happen is that we have seen a situation in which there is need now for more people to be autochthonous, to look more inwards rather than outside.
Now, Nigerians like Abba say they will begin to travel again, and travel companies expect to make more income. Timothy Obiezu for VOA News, Abuja.
That's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines once again. About 48.6 billion kwacha is required to feed 2.6 million hungry Malawians in the lean period. The High Court in Lilongwe has adjourned a hearing on cost incurred in the Chief Justice retirement case. Minbus Owners Association of Malawi refutes reports of an agreement with government to allow minbuses carry 3 passengers per seat. You have been with me, Uncle Sunda. You can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website, www.times.mw, on our Facebook page at Times360 Malawi, and on Twitter at Times360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, and mask up. Please stay safe.